I'm just an idiotic, stupid dog. But did you ever have one of those times you just can't get started? No matter what you try, you can't get out of the blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like your coffee didn't do it for you. You couldn't take a crap. You couldn't wake up. You didn't have no pep in your step. I cannot get off the blocks. But what I wanted to talk about was this was a vinegar gravy situation with her dad, Coleslaw Jimmy, and the interposition with the man into that three triumphant. So you got the man, he's trying to hang out with vinegar gravy as much as he can because he loves her, because she's so lovely and beautiful. You got Coleslaw Jimmy, vinegar gravy's dad, and you got the man. The man's a little, little weak-kneed, little oxygen deprivation. So Coleslaw Jimmy, he's a mobster. He's a made man. He might be retired. I think he still has these little side gigs and side hacks. Mobster side hacks, you got to be careful if the guy's got a mobster side hack. It doesn't matter to me, understand? It doesn't, how a man makes his living. As I'm just a stupid dog, so believe me, it couldn't matter. Couldn't matter less. I knew dogs who killed other dogs. I knew dogs who killed cats, rodents. It didn't matter. So a mobster kills another mobster, or whatever. So, but Coleslaw Jimmy, you're not going to be in that whole environment, that whole thing, that niche, if you're not what you say, a little bit whatever you say, violence. Like, he's like one of those people that says, I'm in the hurting business. I'm sociable and affable, but I make my living in the hurting business. So anyways, the man, he's always trying to get on the good side of Coleslaw Jimmy. Coleslaw Jimmy's always giving him a hard time. Well, the other day, I heard the man, he was all distraught. He was talking to himself. He was standing in front of his big Macy's parade window, or mirror, his big JCPenney wraparound mirror, and he was talking to himself. And he told the whole story about how Coleslaw Jimmy said, he invited him to come over to the football game, watch the football game. And the man said, fantastic. And Coleslaw said, bring along a six-pack and a pizza. So the man's like, it, Coleslaw Jimmy, I'm there. What time you want me there? And he says, the game starts at 3. It says the game starts at 3:18. Why don't you get here at 3:13? And the man, when he hung up the phone, he says, geez, he's giving me 5 minutes to get the pizza in the house, to get the beer, to sit down, to say hello. It's not that hospitable. So the man was thinking, Coleslaw Jimmy, this is like an un-invitation or something. Well, anyways, the man, he says, this is phenomenal, though. I'm going to have my shot. Coleslaw Jimmy's reaching out to me. Coleslaw Jimmy calls him back, says, hey, listen to me, the man, you oxygen deprivation bastard. He says, I want half of the fucking pizza be pepperoni and half just plain. So the man's, no problem. Man, you want half pepperoni, half cheese. Beautiful pizza. And then Coleslaw Jimmy says, I like them well done. Make my pizza well done. And the man's like, you got it. So the man calls up. He orders the pizza. He says, I want it half pepperoni, half cheese pizza, and I want it well done. And they're like, beautiful. What's the name? 30 minutes, $15. We'll see you when you get here. Got to pick up his pizza. He swings by. He gets him a, whatever you call it, Moosehead Lager, a 6-pack, a bottle of Moosehead Lager. That's the kind of thing the mafiosos drink. And then he gets his pizza. He goes over to Jimmy's big, gorgeous, beautiful manor house. It's a big, beautiful manor house, And this guy, he's living large. He's got a couple live-in servants. He's got 3 or 4 whatever servants. This guy, he's doing okay for himself. But the man's been there a few times, several times. Coleslaw Jimmy always wants to run him down. He always wants to pick on him. So the man, he feels like he's got to stand up for himself, but Coleslaw Jimmy's a made man. If Coleslaw Jimmy, if he pushes Coleslaw Jimmy too far, he's afraid he's going to shoot him in the temple and throw his corpse into the river. So he's not trying to, whatever. It doesn't matter. So they got this big, giant, rich people's kitchen. It's like a gallery for serving a bunch of sailors. So Coleslaw Jimmy, he comes in this big marble-topped, whatever you call the thing in the middle. I don't know what you call it. You could walk around. It's like a counter in the center, an island counter, marble. He sets the pizza down there. He sets the beer down there. He pops a couple of the beers up because these Moosehead Lagers are only pop-off. You can't twist off. He puts the other 4 beers in the 6-pack in the refrigerator, and he heads out to the living room. Well, He didn't get no pizza or nothing. He just popped a couple beers and he walks out there. And so Cold Sore Jimmy says, "Hey, what's some pizza?" And the man's like, "Oh, I just thought we'd have a beer first." They got the game going. Meanwhile, this friggin' guy's watching the Mr. Kennel show. I guess mafia people, they like to watch bocce ball. They like to watch, sometimes I don't know what, tennis or something. Others do with boat racing. And this guy's watching the Mr. Kennel show. They'd say, holy crap, you know. I mean, I'm a dog, and even I would have been bored to tears by that. The man didn't know what to do. So Cold Sore says, couldn't fucking bring in the pizza. Just bring the whole pizza in. You don't have to bring in a slice. You get a whole fucking pizza bringing in here. So Cold Sore says, I'll take care of it. I'll keep that. So Cold Sore, he goes. A couple minutes later, he comes back, and he seems like he's smiling. He's kind of happy. The pizza's a nice aroma, a nice fragrance. It's still warm on the bottom. You know, on Cold Sore Jimmy's palm that he's carrying that pizza in there. It feels warm to him, warm to the touch. He's happy. He's content with everything. He lets that pizza slam down on the beautiful coffee table. He flips it over to the football game. He makes a joke like, you thought we were watching the men. I do want to watch the Westminster Channel thing, the show there about the dogs and judging the dogs. It's something like mafia people love to do. So we're going to flip back and forth. We're going to watch the football game. Don't worry about it. Well, Cold Sore Jimmy, he flips open the pizza box. Right away, he stands back. He's like, what the fuck? The fuck? The fuck? He could come look at this shit. And the man, he was like, didn't even know what Jimmy was talking about. He thought Cold Sore Jimmy was talking about something else. He thought he might have been on his phone or something. He wasn't going to pay attention, so Cold Sore kind of smacks him a little smack, a glancing blow at the top of his head. And the man's like, holy fuck, here we go again. He stands up. He's like, why? What's the matter? He goes, you tell me. What the fuck? I told you I want half pepperoni, half fucking plain. The man says, I know, I ordered it. Half pepperoni, half plain. So the man and Cold Sore looked down at the pizza together, and these jabonis who made this pizza, they put the cheese over top of the pepperoni. So the pepperoni's in there, but it's covered by the cheese. And the man, he's like, holy shit, he knows he's in trouble. Cold Sore slaps him upside the head, a vicious blow. It's like he could enter that blow into one of them slap contests with Dana White with the MMA thing. And he says, what the fuck? I told you, I told you half pepperoni. He says, I got the half pepperoni. The man says, they put the fucking pepperoni under the cheese. Cold Sore Jimmy, he was even madder. He thought at first the man forgot to order half pepperoni, half plain. Then he finds out they put the cheese over top of the pepperoni. So so the Cold Sore Jimmy's like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to know which side's the fucking pepperoni side and which side's the fucking plain side? And the man's like, well, I guess you just start taking, take a piece from that side and you take... And then so Cold Sore Jimmy slaps him again. He pulls out his pistol. He says, I'm going to start pistol whipping you, you bastard. How you know which half? It could be the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere. It could be the eastern hemisphere versus the western hemisphere. You got 4 choices. You start picking up pizza slices. You don't know where that pepperoni is. He says, I cannot believe you ordered a pizza from a place that didn't know you don't put the freaking cheese over top of the pepperoni. If it's a half pepperoni, half plain, how are you supposed to be able to figure that out? Oh my God. Cold Sore Jimmy looked at him and says, you are a disgrace to me. You get the fuck out of my manor house. I don't want to see you messing around, sniffing around my daughter anymore, you stupid oxygen deprivation bastard. You bring me a fucking pizza and the pepperoni, half plain, is all underneath the cheese? And you start telling me take a slice from here, take a slice from there. We'll figure it out as we go along. I'm eating a fucking slice of pizza. I thought it was plain. All of a sudden I'm tasting pepperoni. I have some pepperoni pizza desires, and I'm like, where's the fucking flavor of the pepperoni? It's just enough to drive you crazy. Get the fuck out of my house, you dumb bastard, whatever. It didn't even matter. And the man was like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. And the man, as he was walking to the house, he felt really bad because he's like, I do have the oxygen deprivation. He couldn't figure out if he should try to take a piece from the western hemisphere or the eastern hemisphere. We try to juxtapose the northern versus the southern hemispheres of the pizzas. And he finally got a piece with pepperoni, but he didn't know which direction to go to find the plain pizza from that He knew where the pepperoni slice was, but he didn't know which direction to go. The man was like, he should have just gone straight across, but he couldn't figure that one out. He didn't think, he thought maybe a left or right motion. It was the oxygen deprivation thing all over again. But he did the best he could. It didn't work out so good, and he felt really bad about himself. As he was leaving the house, he was thinking to himself, I couldn't figure that one out. I could not figure out when the pepperoni's covered by all the cheese and you can't really see the pepperoni. Even if you find a single slice of pepperoni or a single slice of plain cheese, you can't figure out the whole, parameters of the pizza. You can't say, okay, this half is this, because you got 4 different hemispheres. And I mean, that really sucks, the man said. 4 hemispheres, I couldn't figure it out. And I felt bad for him. I was like, gosh bless, you probably should have just took a guess. You should have just took a guess and started eating some pizza, slap some pizza over there, so that's plain and this is pepperoni, whatever, and hope for the best. The way you did it, you were destined to fail. But whatever, that's all right.